What if I told you the woman who built her whole TV career on lies, manipulation, and fake drama just got completely exposed? All because of a few text messages? Yes, get ready for this. Chris Webber didn't just go to court to get justice. He came prepared with real proof. He brought screenshots, voice recordings, and bank records, all with Jackie Christie's name, voice, and messy fingerprints all over them. And guess what? These weren't just simple "I miss you" texts. They were on another level. Things like, "Hide the money, Doug can't find out," and even "Tell Chantel she was an accident." Yes, you heard that right. Chris told the whole courtroom about Jackie's double life, fake charities, secret hotel stays, and even texts that made it seem like Jackie had a second abortion that she never told Doug about while she was with Chris. The jury gasped. Doug almost fainted. Jackie sat there shaking, completely silent, totally exposed. So, how did it get to this point? How did Chris get those texts? And what else is Jackie hiding behind her carefully built image? Oh, it gets worse. Let's dive. Chris Webber didn't just tell his side, he blew everything up. What started as a normal court day turned into a media disaster. When Chris pulled out those texts, every jaw in the room dropped at the same time. That was it for Jackie Christie. The texts were so wild, even the court reporter stopped typing for a moment and said, "What the heck?" But wait, let's rewind. This wasn't just about the court. This was years of lying, cheating, and fake loyalty all coming out in front of cameras, a nervous judge, and their daughter caught in the middle. Chris walked into court with just a slim black folder. When he left, Jackie's image was in pieces. Doug was begging his lawyer for help, and Chantel, rumored to have run out of the courthouse crying, wouldn't speak to either of them. So what was in those texts? Who sent what? And why did I? Chris decide to bring them out now? Let's break it all down. Boss, Part 1 is coming. A full breakdown starting now. Just 3 weeks ago, no one would have thought Chris Webber, calm, quiet, always in the background, would be the one to blow up the whole courtroom. But on the morning of the hearing, everything changed. When he walked in holding a thin black folder and showing no emotion, even the security guard at the door looked nervous. Picture this. Jackie Christie was sitting in the front row, holding her head high like Doug wasn't about to emotionally destroy her. Jackie looked pale, tired, and barely blinked. Chantel wasn't even there. Her therapist told her to stay away from places that would make her angry. But this wasn't just Doug's court hearing. This was karma showing up with front row tickets to the truth that had been hidden for a long time. Then it began. The judge called Chris Webber to the stand. The room got tense. Jackie started fidgeting. Chris cleared his throat, put the folder down, and dropped the first bomb. Doug stared as the cameras turned on. Chris started calmly saying, "Your Honor, this is just another Tuesday for me. I've been quiet for years, but since the world is already in the middle of this, I think it's time they hear the rest." Then he opened the folder full of printed text messages, with notes, highlights, and timestamps. But these weren't just any texts. These were messages between Jackie and Chris during a time Jackie once claimed was confusing. Confusing. No, it was criminal. Chris read the first message from Jackie at 2:14 a.m. "Doug thinks I'm at my sister's. I miss the way you look at me. Being with you makes me feel alive." Boom. The room went silent. The air felt heavy. Doug's mouth dropped open like he just got hit by a taser. Jackie stared straight ahead without blinking. Reporters were texting like crazy. Bloggers were rushing to go live. Even the court reporter looked at the judge like, "Do I really have to type this?" But Chris wasn't finished. He flipped to another message from just 6 months ago. "Sometimes I watch Chantel and think about what could have happened if we hadn't let fear stop us. I still have that picture from Maui." Doug looked at Jackie with anger, heartbreak, and shock all at once. This wasn't just a quick mistake from years ago. It was lie after lie. Chris said there was much more. Jackie had been living a double life, pretending to be the perfect, loyal wife while playing both sides. She even tried to delete some messages, but Chris found them in his backup. These messages showed that their emotional and maybe physical relationship never really ended. They also suggested Jackie used Doug's money and name to cover up what she was really doing. Chris told the court she had 2 lives, one with Doug for the public and one with me in private. She asked me to play nice, and I did. But after what I've seen lately, I'm done. The judge tried to calm the room. Jackie whispered something to her lawyer. Doug just sat there shaking, pale, with clenched fists, staring at the floor like he wished it would swallow him. But the public loved every second of it. Twitter exploded in minutes. WeberX was trending worldwide. People posted old clips from Basketball Wives showing Jackie's long disappearances, strange quotes, and late-night phone calls. That's when another leak dropped, this time from someone close to the court. Chris didn't read this part out loud, but it was another message from Jackie. I've thought about leaving him more times than I can count. I only trust you with the truth. Don't make me regret this. It turns out Chantel may have always felt something was wrong with Doug. Jackie had told Chris to stay out of trouble because she wasn't ready to destroy everything yet. And now Doug's legal team is trying to recover a deleted video call from Jackie's old phone. Think that's it? Not even close. Chris calmly finished his statement, packed up the papers, and sat down like he hadn't just blown up an entire family. Doug's lawyer asked for a break. Jackie looked like she aged 10 years in 10 minutes. A witness said she heard Jackie whisper, "He promised he would never read those out loud." As they left the courtroom, Chris walked out with no regrets, nodded to the press, and said, "Sometimes the truth hurts, sometimes it heals. Either way, it's time." Meanwhile, Doug broke down in the hallway. He punched the wall and yelled, "He betrayed me, my own brother." Then he stormed into a back room. Reporters surrounded the scene. One asked if Doug and Chris were ever close. Someone else said security footage from a Sacramento hotel in 2021 showed Jackie and Chris arguing. This wasn't just a scandal, it was a media disaster. People weren't just asking what happened between Jackie and Chris, they wanted to know. How long has Jackie been faking it? When did Doug find out? And is Chantel even speaking to her parents? The floodgates were wide open. As the next part of the trial approached, everyone was waiting to see the next witnesses. Doug might even testify, and what he says could either save him or completely destroy Jackie's last chance at respect. But if anyone thought that explosive courtroom moment was the end, they were wrong. Chris Webber didn't just bring one receipt. He had more. After the judge calmed things down and kicked Doug out of the courtroom, Doug kept yelling, "You lied to me, Jackie." Chris calmly fixed his tie and went back to the stand like nothing had happened. Then he pulled out his phone. "Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to read a few more text messages." You could hear the gasps from the crowd. Jackie's. Lawyers whispered frantically. Chris stayed calm, too calm, and started reading. Jackie's face went pale. Her hands shook in her lap. July 8th, 2016. I want to tell Doug the truth, but he would never get over it. You're the only person who ever made me feel safe. The room froze. August 12th, 2017. He's so busy coaching that he doesn't even see me sneak out. You always knew how to pay attention. One juror whispered, "Oh my God." But Chris wasn't finished. He kept reading text after text, year after year. It was a long, painful trail of lies and betrayal. Some messages weren't just emotional, they were planned. One said, "If I bring Chantel, he won't ask questions. We'll just call it a charity trip." And then the final blow, "You're not just her biological father. You've always been there for her, more than Doug ever was." Jackie's face dropped into her hands. People said they heard Chantel crying so hard after she had been hiding in the hallway. A court clerk brought Jackie a box of tissues. At the same time, Twitter exploded. Jackie Christie's name was trending everywhere in just 14 minutes. But that wasn't all. Chris scrolled down his phone and said, "This one's from last year, March 18th. Jackie told me, 'Doug is broke and I'm tired of pretending. You and I built Chantel's future, not him. You should have been the one walking the red carpets.'" The courtroom went totally silent. It felt like you could hear Jackie's reputation breaking into tiny pieces. Even the judge looked shocked. Court reporter tweeted, "I've covered 9 murder trials. Nothing compares to what I just saw." And then there was the aftershock. Jackie didn't argue. She didn't yell. She just whispered something that no one heard at first. But lip readers online figured out what she said. He wasn't supposed to keep those. Let that sink in. The messages were real. Chris wasn't lying. He just wasn't supposed to still have them. Chris Webber got off the stand. He walked right past Jackie without even looking at her. The bailiffs took him out through the side door, but not before paparazzi caught a photo of him smirking in the hallway. Outside the courthouse, things went wild. Protesters held signs saying "Justice for Doug" and showed all the lies connected to the case. Chantel, now caught in the middle of everything, posted a plain black square on Instagram with no caption. People took it as a sign that she was done with her mother, but it got worse. Jackie's lawyer tried to block the messages from being used in court. The judge said no. "This court has a duty to find the truth," she said. "If these messages are real, this is more than just family drama. Now we're talking about fraud, lying under oath, and identity manipulation." Some experts even said Jackie might have broken the law by not telling Doug the truth about her LLCs when filing property documents. Remember, those same LLCs are already being investigated for possible charity fraud. Meanwhile, Doug Christie was sitting in a holding cell and might face up to 5 years in prison for aggravated assault. Chris Webber had just shown the court a digital timeline of his emotional relationship with Jackie, and it had been going on for Chantel's whole life. Jackie had just been caught lying in court. Now state prosecutors were looking at all the money Jackie's charity foundation collected in 2020. It got over $1.2 million in donations, but reported spending only $18,000 to help communities. So where did the rest of the money go? And here's another twist. Doug's former assistant just came forward. She said Jackie once told her to hand-deliver a manila envelope to Chris Webber and not to tell Doug. The assistant said, "I didn't know what was in it. I didn't ask. But now, I think I was helping to hide something really bad." The court is now checking security camera footage from Jackie's house, emails from her PR team, and receipts from the Christie family's LLCs. Investigators are getting ready to send legal orders to both Jackie's and Doug's business partners. Fans are divided. Doug's supporters want him freed, saying he's the real victim. Jackie's fans are mostly silent. Chris Webber posted a black and white selfie with the caption, "Truth, Legacy." And it's still not over. Part 3 is going to be even bigger. Just when it seemed the courtroom couldn't get messier, boom, another shock hit. This time it wasn't physical. It was emotional, psychological, and career-ending. Chris Webber, still recovering from Doug's earlier attack, sat quietly in the witness chair. The room was tense. Jackie looked at him like she was seeing a ghost from her past. Doug sat by his lawyers, red-eyed, trying to hold back his anger. A bailiff handed the judge a sealed envelope from Chris Webber's lawyer. Inside were 32 pages of text messages between Jackie and Chris Webber, messages from years of secret communication, late-night texts. "I miss you," planning secret vacations, and one message that hit hard. "Doug will never know. He trusts me too much." The judge blinked in shock. The whole courtroom gasped. Jackie looked like she wanted to disappear. The prosecutor asked, "To use the texts as proof of emotional manipulation." The defense said nothing. What could they say? Nothing but, "Oh no, boss." But it didn't stop. Next came a voicemail from Jackie to Chris when Doug was away on a coaching trip. Her voice was soft and loving. "I still think about us. Chris, that weekend in Malibu wasn't a mistake. I didn't think I'd still love you." Boom! Jackie buried her face in her hands. Chantel stormed out of the courtroom. Doug didn't move. He just stared at the floor with his jaw clenched so tight it looked like it might crack. Chris stood up. "I didn't come here to ruin lives," he said. "But I can't stay quiet anymore. Jackie and I weren't just having fun. She was hiding a whole relationship from me. I respected that at the time. But now, Doug is going to jail over secrets that came from this mess. I had to tell the truth." Minutes later, justice for Doug started trending on social media. TikTok blew up with fan theories, reactions, slowed-down court videos with dramatic music, and even reenactments. One TikToker acted out the whole story in under 30 minutes. Another started selling shirts that said, "Jackie's lies ain't rebound material." VH1 later said they were rethinking Jackie Christie's place on future Basketball Wives seasons. But the damage kept spreading. Doug's lawyer said years of betrayal made Doug emotionally and mentally unstable, explaining his violent outburst as a moment of temporary insanity. Chris Weber's team responded with photos showing Jackie still, setting up secret meetings with Chris as recently as last year, while filming season 12. If producers knew about this? Oh, the lawsuits that might come. Jackie's lawyer was trying hard to save her image and get her ready to face possible perjury charges since she had sworn she had no contact with Chris Webber after 2003. Oops, that was a lie. And just when everyone thought it was over for the day, a mysterious envelope was slipped under the judge's door. A flash drive was found that had a big message written in red. "Play this, or you're part of the cover-up." Sources say the flash drive has security camera videos from Doug and Jackie's own house. It reportedly shows Chris Webber walking into their home at 2:14 a.m. last year. At that time, Jackie was home, but Doug wasn't. Jackie had once posted on Instagram, "Some people you never really unlove," but she later deleted it. Now, things are getting serious. Some insiders say Jackie could face federal charges if it's proven that she hid or messed with important evidence. Remember those fake companies involved in charity scams? Well, guess who signed the papers using fake addresses tied to short-term rentals in Beverly Hills? Jackie and Doug. What started as a court case may have now turned into a multi-state investigation. The IRS, FBI, and California's top lawyers are all digging into old tax files and public donation records. So where does Doug stand? Doug is still in jail facing assault charges. But now, his lawyers are planning to blame everything on Jackie, saying, she controlled him mentally, tricked him with money, and emotionally betrayed him. Will this plan work? Nobody knows yet. What we do know is Doug Christie isn't the calm, strong man people used to admire. Now he's a broken man on trial, feeling betrayed by the woman he loved. Jackie Christie, once the queen of spinning stories on reality TV, is now stuck in a situation she can't control. Chris Webber left court with some bruises but feeling like he won. There are already rumors that he's working with Netflix on a show called Exposed, The Truth About Jackie Christie. But this story isn't over. Next week, Chantel is set to testify. And leaked documents say she's not there to protect her mother. She's coming to tell her own story. So buckle up, because the biggest trial of the decade is just getting started. This isn't some Basketball Wives reunion. This could be the fall of Jackie Christie and the end of covering things up. So what do you think? Did Doug Christie's anger and pride push him to become the kind of chaos he once defended Jackie from? Or is Doug the victim, tricked and used for years? Was Chris Webber brave for speaking out, or just using this for a Netflix deal? And Jackie? Is she the mastermind who finally lost control, or just a woman trying to hide her mistakes? One thing is clear. This courtroom drama has changed the game for reality TV. It's not just VH1 watching now. It's the IRS, the FBI, and every news outlet. This isn't just Basketball Wives anymore. It's a total takedown. And don't blink, because Chantel is going to court soon. Word is she's not there to defend anyone. She's bringing proof, pain, and nothing to lose. So if you thought today's story was wild, just wait until Jackie's daughter tells her side. If you haven't yet, subscribe now because the lies are falling apart fast, and we're spilling the tea hot every time. If you think karma is finally catching up to the Christies, hit that like button. Tell us your wildest guess in the comments. Who's going to testify next? What's really on that flash drive? How deep does this scandal go? We don't stay quiet here. We ask questions, we expose the truth, and we break the internet. And this is just the beginning. The court isn't done. The secrets aren't out. And I'm not going anywhere. See you at the next big reveal.